But I also want to quickly say something about, how do you submit the talk for the new speakers? Also, just have for the folks in Hubilo, there's some polls which you can take. So I just launched 2 new polls. And so how do you submit a talk to MIDI C++? There's 2 URLs. One is to submit the talk itself, and the conference URL just before this is started. And this is similar for other conferences. Right now, CPPCon also has their call for talks, and other conferences are going to happen over summer, and then they're going to have that similar process for them. And it's not like that we have like a standard here. It's like everyone is doing it slightly different. They're going to have that next year. And so this is, of course, a bit opinionated of a lot of things I say. So take this with a grain of salt, okay? First, create an account. That's most of the submission systems today are account-based. Of course, subscribe to my newsletter and to the weekly blog roll where I share all the blog links with you every week. And then you need to submit your talk. And the first thing you will do is to fill out your speaker bio. Quickly want to go through some of those things. We actually have now a review group. So if you want to help review talks or just see what other people write in their talk descriptions, join the group. And in this box is your speaker bio, which of course is the most important part. And want to point out, if you want to add a link, that's this symbol. A lot of people seem still not to know that. And the picture of you when you submit a talk is optional. When your talk is selected for the conference, of course, it's not as optional anymore. And now you're ready to submit your talk. So let's break this up, this form which you just saw. Let's go for the talk title first. Keep your talk title short. There are some people which really like to have talk titles which are contain a comma and a complete different sentence after it. That's too long. Don't include subtitles. I think it's for technical reasons, it's probably in our world better to avoid certain characters and titles, especially commas, semicolons, and other stuff. If you don't absolutely have to have that in your talk description, not in the talk, but in the talk title, don't do that. Reasons are like HTML, entity conversion, etc., etc. Okay. Exceptions C++ is fine. If you have to have it in your talk title, that's fine. Just want to take a note. Good titles are engaging. So how to and so on. Using C++ 20, 23, 17, 11, 14, 26 for what you do. Memes can work. Introduction, overviews, and tutorials can just, say what they are. Introduction into writing an application with libngui or libboost, Qt, etc. I also want to point out that well-known speakers get away with talk titles that are sometimes questionable or maybe not as good for you as a new speaker, because a lot of people will judge the talk by the new title, by the title if they don't know the speaker already. And sometimes speakers just get away with a bad title or with a catchy title because they're already well known and they already get the points for having done lots of good talks and being a good speaker. So if you're new to speaking, pay attention to your talk title, and just because the big and your speaker idol, the speakers which you saw, which you favorite as, which you think are really good, they might not be the best orientation for you in regarding for the title. Talk description is what your talk is about. You should add here more than a paragraph. Also, it's not a blog post, so don't put too much into it. Again, there's a possibility to actually put a really physical HTML link into here, and be aware that if you're copy pasting this from some other source, you're copy pasting artifacts from Word documents, etc., into this. That is why I highlighted here this symbol, which is the HTML code, which control will generate, and there you will be able to see if you have any inline CSS or other things and other shenanigans. in there. And also this is the way to put your code into pre-snippets, okay? Into pre-tags. That's the way how to present code on my platform and on others too. The outline is how do you envision your talk? I often put slide titles in here, and others do that too. What people should know about you or this talk in specific, which isn't in the talk description. Maybe also stuff you don't want to put in the talk description because it's important for the talk, but for people reviewing it's a free text form. You can put in whatever you want to put in there, but it's visible to the reviewers and voters on my platform. The attendees never going to see it when they're not participating in the voting, and if they participated in the voting, they're not going to remember it. Ideas, etc. is just an open field. Now, what I find out is a lot of people seem to fill out this, and you then should revisit, after filling out the outline, your talk description. Because the most popular feedback I have given to speakers last year was, your outline contains the second or third paragraph of your talk description, just in bullet points. That's something like which you put in your outline, which is great that you mentioned that, but that should also be in your talk description. That's the best thing we learned last year through the review system, that a lot of speakers should review their talk description after doing the outline. The audience is something we cover to have that. Who should come to your talk? Orientation. All combinations make sense. Give people an orientation of the level of your talk. That's what this is about. There's 4 more options which I quickly want to cover. As a conference organizer, it's important to me that we have some talks which are like new or not has been at every conference already. So if your talk is like new and you prepared for the conference, if you don't submit it to another conference in front of me in C++, and you're really like saying, well, this is the one talk I have, and this is I want to go to Berlin and speak at Meeting C++ and present this talk as new. That's what this is about, and it's also important for as an organizer to me to know this. It's also going to be displayed in the voting, as far as I know, and will give you maybe a little bit of an edge if you're like preparing a new talk. And I already mentioned the review system we have in place. So if you want to have your review and like feedback on your talk, then check this. Meeting C++ supports up to 2 speakers. So if you have a second speaker, check this box and it triggers the second speaker bio form in the next form, and you will be able to enter their name, email, and their bio. And yeah, so we have an online-only track, which is pre-recorded, as I already mentioned prior. That's what this box is for, to tell us this. And as I said, it's if you want to come to Berlin, you don't have to do that. But there's no on-site only box, because that would be too much. Everyone may speak online. I understand that some speakers don't want to speak online, but if your talk doesn't get accepted and we still have open slots in the online track, some people might want to go for it. On the other hand, there are speakers which are not able to come to Berlin, which I already mentioned prior to, and they may want to indicate that this talk is for the online audience and that they will prepare it or do the pre-recording with Meeting C++. And in that case, that gives a huge edge for your talk, and also helps us to select the talks for the online presence of the conference. And last but not least, of course, submit your talk. And quickly mentioning again that, of course, with the login, you're able to edit it. And that's also like one thing which I find that is important, because you submit your talk and the next day you will find something, or you will have a shower thought in the next week to something to add, something to change. And we are able to give you feedback, and you'll be able to edit the talk in the way we do that. So that's good. The next steps from our side then is, once the call for talks has ended, which is 26th of June, about 1 week, you'll be able to edit your submission. Then the voting is where, the talk info is visible to most voting folks, former speakers and some other folks in my team. sees also the speaker info so that we kind of balance it in the voting, and then the selection is guided by the track for the voting results. Last year was special, it was at 10 years and hybrid. We're hybrid this year again, but we have more tracks on site. Actually, this year's conference is pretty much modeled after last year's conference because it was quite a good success, and it's a model we kept for this year. And so this year is not as special, but we're still, kind of not as limited in the space due to the pandemic anymore. So if you want to come to Berlin, you're welcome. And I'm looking really forward to see many of you there. And with that, thanks for listening. Submit your talk until June 26th. On the website, on some pages, it still says the June 18th deadline. I haven't announced that officially that this is now moved to June 26th due to my holiday being longer. So that's something which I will change. But it's on the submission form, it's already changed, which is an important part. If you have any questions, if you're watching this on YouTube, in the comments, and otherwise in the chat, we will be doing the panel now. So thanks everyone for speaking.